This is the story of Funshine Dizzyland and how it came to be. Now, before there was a Funshine Dizzyland, there was a city called Dizzy Busy. And in that city is a company called Hari Chips Company. And Hari Chips makes computer chips. And when Hari was making his chip company, he was a very frantic individual, and everybody kept telling him how busy he was and that he was working at dizzying paces. And so he decided to name his little community in town Dizzy Busy. So when the city grew and became bigger and more popular, a person named Larista Funshine was born. And she grew up in Dizzy Busy. She went to Dizzy Busy High School. And while she was at Dizzy Busy High School, she took art classes. And while she was drawing things in art class, she came up with the Rojo B character. And based on Rojo B, she then created Cymbalant, Zoi Zoi Hop, Hornatio, Dotzel, Penelope, and so on. And she started drawing all these cartoon characters. And then when she graduated high school, she went to work for a grocery store in the city of Dizzy Busy. And while working at the grocery store, she started working in their marketing department, and she would draw ads using little characters that she was careful to not make her Bug-Illager characters, but they were cute nonetheless, and it made her very popular. And one day, she was able to talk to the publisher of the local newspaper, the Dizzy Busy Gazette. And she was able to put her cartoons, the Bug-Illagers, in that newspaper. And it became a daily comic strip that she got paid for. Not a lot, but she got paid for. And over the years, besides working in marketing in the grocery store, she worked on developing her Bug-Illager characters and their personalities and the story about them. And over many years, she became very popular. The Bug-Illagers became nationwide known, and she got very rich. And so one day she came across a small traveling carnival. And it was so cute that she decided to buy it and make it Bug-Illager themed. Now, she didn't call it Funshine Dizzyland at that time. It was something else. I don't know what it was called. When you write about the story, come up with a name. But we will imagine that the carnival was only about the size of, say, 1 hex. So let's take the center hex, and we'll say the carnival she bought was about this size. No more than this. You can't go, well, it was actually way out to here. No. It must fit completely within 1 hex. So she bought a little carnival, and it was wonderful. And she got all the little rides painted up to look like Bug-Illager theme rides. And yeah, we can incorporate some of those original rides into Funshine Dizzyland, and maybe even into the center hex. But it should be a different entity all of its own that used to exist at this point. So at this point, this park has existed for 4 years. It's basically the same age as the twins, maybe a little older. They certainly started working on it before the twins were born, and so the twins have a special affinity with Funshine Dizzyland. And their older siblings would have known that it didn't exist when they were young, but now it does. And that makes it exciting because it's still new. So Funshine Dizzyland is 4 years old. It's based on and probably includes the rides from the original traveling carnival that Larista Funshine purchased, we'll say, 15 years ago. And after running the carnival for 10 years, she was able to get the board of directors of Funshine Productions, because by now she's become a very big corporation. She's not just herself, it's a corporation. They've got hundreds of employees. They make cartoons, they make games, they make dolls, they make toys. Everything Danger Aware does, that's what Funshine Dizzyland does. Do you see how it fits together with what we're doing? So, she had Funshine Dizzyland designed and now built and opened. So 4 years now the park has been being built. Some of these rides are brand new. So when you're writing your stories, you can say that you can write up that this particular ride has never been ridden by anybody before, and today's the grand opening of this particular ride. Okay? Take it to the full extremes. This is to build Danger Aware through cartoons, through stories, through games, through dolls, through contests, through everything that can attract a child to Danger Aware, where we hope to teach them personal rights, how to call out abuse, and how to prevent abuse, and recognize it in others as well. Keep all of this in mind as you build your stories. You want to incorporate into your stories how to deal with potential abuse, how to deal with dangerous situations or even seemingly dangerous situations. So as you build the stories and you say, well, I don't want Funshine Dizzyland to be at 4 years. I'm going to go back to when it was only 2 years. The twins were babies. The Prawby wasn't even born yet. And I want to write a story about that. That's wonderful. Just make sure that whichever rides you take out, you make a note of when that ride does come in, so that in the future somebody comes in and writes a story about 3 years, they can go, okay, well, we know these rides already existed, and this ride was being built, and this ride doesn't exist at all yet. So keep that in mind as you write stories. We need to maintain consistency. And because of that, I need you to look over the park now. Look at every single detail, every single feature, and say, you know what, we should do this instead of this. I'm fine with that. We can change the database. We can change the park. And in fact, the park can be an evolving park in the future. As I said, we can have contests and say, bring up one little ride, like this right here. And we can say, we're going to have a contest, but we want you to come up with a Bagillager background and theme for this ride. It has to fit this exact ride in this shape with this much room. What can you do and make it Bagillager? And then we put it out there as a contest. And if we can get kids interested that play the game, that's great. If not, we can say they can also draw their idea of what it should look like for us, so that we can then build it to match their drawing if they win the contest. That way we're not saying that you must own the game in order to enter our contest to improve our game. So every one of these rides should have more scenery around them and can be more themed to Danger Aware and the Begillagers. If we make that contests for each of these rides to get them improved by kids, then they're coming to Danger Aware. And we can write stories. Oh, we need this contest because this ride is dangerous because of this or that or the other. I don't care. If you can come up with a story that works where we're not actually having abuse happen, we don't want anybody getting hurt or anything like that in our story, but we definitely want fear, and we want suspense, and we want that anticipation that if you do the wrong thing, then more danger could happen. So that's the kind of stories we need. That's the kind of contests we need. Now you can see these rides are very busy without much supporting scenery, but that does not mean that we could not get kids that would build us scenery that would look fantastic and help improve what the park looks like for other people to go, oh, I can make this ride better too, or whatever, to get people involved with Danger Aware. That's what our goal is, to get kids involved with Danger Aware. And while they're here, yes, they're going to have a lot of fun. They're going to win contests. They're going to play games. They're going to hear stories. They're going to read comics. They're going to watch cartoons. And through all of it, once in a while, they're going to get a little bit of information about how to protect themselves from dangers and about preventing abuse, not only for themselves, but for others. To recognize when one of their friends has suddenly changed, that maybe something is wrong, and the thing to do is to ask questions to try to help. Not to be nosy, but to say, hey, I'm concerned. I'm feeling that you don't feel happy. We need to put things in children's terms so that they can understand, oh, my friend Sally doesn't seem happy anymore. Instead of saying, oh, well, when they don't feel uncomfortable, you should say something. That is not the kind of thing we want to do. We want to see a situation. We want to see a cartoon where there's two characters and one of them recognizes in the other a change in their personality or a change in what they're doing, so that we are educating that there are possibilities, there are ways and means to use to prevent and stop abuse. And so that's what we're after. And that's what this is, Funshine Dizzyland is all about. It's not about, oh, we need the twins to go have some adventures. No, we need to make this so that we're using this as a tool for kids to be involved with Danger Aware. Right now, this is our map of the park, where the rides are, what the rides are named, but we need to rename every single ride into something for Danger Aware, the Begillagers, and so on. And I just noticed that ride was, oh, that's not it. The ride I was just on was not open. So the loop-de-loop, where is right here? There we go. It's not open, so let's go ahead and open it. But anyway, so Funshine Dizzyland is a long-term project by the Funshine Dizzyland Toontime Corporation. Funshine Toontimes is the cartoons department of Funshine Productions. Funshine Productions makes cartoons, dolls, games, toys, etc., etc., etc. and Funshine Dizzyland is a Funshine Productions holding. Okay? It's a corporation, it's a business. It's not just a place. Okay? We need to make the stories as relatable to people as possible. And that's why I've gone to all the trouble to build this park, so that we have a way to build stories that are consistent and we can make them exciting. So, Funshine Dizzyland, the world's largest indoor arboretum. I don't know that it really is, but in our fantasy world where the Brastons live, this is the world's largest indoor arboretum. Okay? That's all there is to it. You don't have to worry about, is it really the biggest? But in our little world here, it is the biggest. And as you can see, it is quite large. I mean, seriously, it has a roller coaster inside of it that goes underground. And again, we've got underground shops and employee areas that we need to continue work on and fill out as well. Again, we could do contests for this. We just have we have kids that play this game come in and build our shops and stuff for us underground, or the scenery for the underground anthill ride. So here's the anthill ride just now going by, but we need some scenery down here. Yeah, it's kind of scary because it goes through the dark and it's got some pretty sharp loops and such, but we really need some scenery underground there. So again, the park is not complete. This is still a work in progress for everybody. For Funshine Productions in the fantasy, in the stories, for Danger Aware in reality, we haven't got this park designed to look like what a real park would look like, I don't think. And, a lot of work for me personally. I still have stuff to learn here, and a lot of stuff for you guys to learn, because I want you guys to learn this game. I want you to be able to edit these rides. I want you to be able to come and take a student who's entered a contest and won, and you to be able to come in here and take out the ride we've got and import the ride they won with. In order to do that, you need to know how to play the game, and you need to know a lot about how to play the game. So, please, everyone, take time to sit and learn the game, even if you're just watching someone else play and you're saying, oh, try this or try that. You're learning what the program can do. You're learning how to use it so that we can use this to expand on our Danger Aware programs, stories, games, contests, toys eventually, stickers, pins, everything. We need to do it all. And that's why I've built Funshine Dizzyland and the history of why it's here and where it came from. So there's the story of Funshine Dizzyland, Larista Funshine, and the Funshine Productions Corporation. Have a wonderful day.